Okay. Damn.
And hello everyone once again, and welcome to another video, and this one is about the round 3. I have already made a video which was about the first race, but this is about the second, where we actually had no rain at the start. So the start was pretty much, I would say on the hard tires, pretty much nothing to do. Qualifying went well, but I wanted to be the first guy out on the track because I kind of saw some rain. And you know, if you're first guy and you're the first guy who's finishing the race, eventually you will avoid all of the problems and avoid all of the rain. And eventually, just when I crossed the finish line, the rain started a little bit, but I don't think it really affected all of the other guys' lap time. So it was actually a dry qualifying session, and I ended up in P6. So my qualifying position was okay. I mean, I could have been a little bit better, but in general, P6 is a good starting point in this race, especially with these conditions, because you never really know what's going to happen. But starting in P6, really didn't want to make any kind of early moves. I mean, it was all looking quite good. I mean, second gear on the way out, you know, really saving up the tires, like watching the fuel a little bit, but also watching the weather. So at every single moment you had to watch the weather. So here I knew that for about a lap or so, I mean, we will not have the rain, or the clouds will not appear. So basically, all I had to do is to drive away, and eventually I got myself into kind of a little fight, kind of in the middle of the first lap. I tried to go for a move on Jack. He kind of closed the doors in. I mean, he basically parked his car in the middle of the track. There's nothing much that you can do there. But then eventually I got a little bit more top speed and went to the inside of that turn, and he lost control of that car. I mean, I had a look at the replay. I should have given him a little bit more space, but I think he had it just about enough. So I went to the outside and he kind of touched the grass. Yeah, and it was a bit unfortunate accident, and he rage quitted this one, so I kind of feel bad about it. Maybe I should have saved my move for a little bit later, but you know, it is what it is, and we are just 5 seconds behind the lead at this point, and by the end of the straight I was 3.5. This car is an absolute rocket in the straight line, but now there was some rain coming. I mean, I really didn't know when it's gonna strike and how much of that rain is gonna fall down. I mean, if it's gonna be, you know, if it's going to be the conditions for just the slick tires, or if it's going to be in the intermediates, I really had absolutely no idea what to do. And now I had Damien behind, so he was, you know, he was really quick in these conditions. And you know, that car, that Nissan is really good in the corners, but once again, when we get onto the straight, there is really nothing much that he can do. So looking at the weather radar once again, and I decided not to pit, but the first two guys decided to go into the pits, and they eventually put the intermediate tires on, and it proved to be one of the best strategies. So I kind of focused on myself here, going from P3 into P2 in turn 1, just giving a little bit more space than, you know, what I usually would, because nothing much to risk here, especially in these conditions. But then in the middle of the race, I kind of took the lead for, I mean, yeah, I'm not even sure if I want to call it like I took the lead for this one, because yeah, it wasn't much of a lead, was it? So the rain was coming down, and I was on slick tires as pretty much all of the other guys behind me, except for maybe a couple of drivers that pitted. You know, the first ones that were in the pits that I just showed you guys before. But I was leading this race, and I mean, kind of, when you're leading the race, it looks good, but this one wasn't looking good. I mean, I was barely for maybe about 20 to 30 seconds in the lead, and I crashed, and there was nothing much that I could have done. I even put the TCS, I believe it was at 3. So I normally don't race with TC, and you can see how the conditions got rough. I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, nothing much that I could have done in these conditions. I should have pitted, it should have been a different strategy, and I mean, it's, you know, it was my call, and eventually, yeah, I think all over in this lap we lost about a minute, like a whole minute in these conditions, and there is nothing much that you can do. The lap is 8 minutes long. I mean, there is no way that you can change the tires so quickly. So yeah, well, I kind of got myself into the lead, made a mistake, got a penalty, lost the lead once again. TCS is at 3, and now I'm getting overtaken by literally everyone. So going from the lead to literally the last place on the grid, or in this race. And yeah, that's how it was. I got myself kind of back into P13, which was okay, but now this one, I lost the control when I was going into the pits. And even at this point I thought about rage quitting, because it was a lost race. I mean, there was really nothing much, and you can see my reaction right there. It wasn't really the best one. And somehow I got into the pits. I saw there was some rain out there. I'm into P14, so I'm literally the last guy in here, and you can see the gap and you can see the radar. So we have some more rain coming. I'm on a new set of intermediates, but I'm 1 minute and 16 seconds behind the lead.
Greedy once again.
1 minute 15 at this point. Just that's a lot. But then I realized that maybe some of the guys really didn't change their tires, and somehow I got 7 seconds on the lead. So I was actually quicker than the leaders of this race, and by quite a margin. I really didn't know what was going on. Later on I checked the replay, but I think they were fighting, but the gap was there. I got 3 positions. I mean, I was 15 seconds quicker than I should have been. You know, in these conditions you never really know, but the rain was coming down, and the first time, by the end of this lap, kind of in the middle of the lap, it was
the guys in front
down
of me.
less than a minute, and then by the time that I finished it, I mean, I finished the lap, it was 40 seconds.
Maybe that's the thing.
So I got 35 seconds down in that lap alone, and then eventually, lap 5, I'm less than 18 seconds behind, and I make this move. I don't know why I didn't wait. I'm very sorry, Gino. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It was completely my bad, but I thought I had the grip, and I just went to the wet side of the track and there was no grip. But somehow, P10 going into P9, not even 15 seconds behind the lead, 13 at this point. I really didn't know what to think about it. I was 1 minute and 15 seconds behind the lead, and I'm 13 seconds, 13.6. I'm kind of in the top 10 once again on new fresh set of intermediates. And I really had no idea what was going on and how is it even possible to be this quick. But apparently, yeah, it's possible somehow. I have absolutely no idea how, but I did it. But our leader actually got into the pits, and I think he made a very wrong choice of tires, and he eventually chose the hard tires for the rest of this race, which proved to be not that great. And 1 lap later, I mean, kind of my progress stopped, so I kind of settled into my own pace. Maybe it was because I destroyed my own tires, and the tires became completely useless. So I decided to pit once again. There was no way that I could have finished my race on those tires. Absolutely no way. The guy in front of me, he put the hard tires on, and in these conditions, if you just touch the wet surface, you're off the track. And something like that happened in here. I'm into P7, and once again we are checking the replay, and his tires were done. So that's what I thought it was going to happen to me. That's exactly what happened to him, and he just clipped the curb a little bit going sideways. There is no recovery from that, and somehow I'm into P7 fighting for P6? What is going on? I mean, it's still 26 seconds behind the lead, but actually my race is looking good. I mean, I kind of got a little bit stuck in this position, but I went for it. I really went for this move, and you know, I actually had a lot more pace, a lot more grip than Manu, and it was kind of an easy move down here. And now I'm looking at the guys that are actually fighting for the top 5 positions, and this guy just in front of me loses the cars just in front of me. And then once again I realized their tires were gone. Their tires were toasted. Literally, there was no life left in those tires. And now Gino and me fighting for P4. Literally, I was in P14 just a couple of laps ago, and then I'm fighting for top 5 and even P4. And you know, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I didn't really know what to think about at this point, because I had the fuel, I had the momentum, I had the car, and I had the straight line speed, which was really useful in this race, which I cannot deny. This car is a rocket. It's an absolute rocket in the straight line. I'm gonna say it every single time, but in the kind of in the corners, it's really not the best car. But somehow I can kind of look at the guy in P3, and what is going on? I'm chasing him, and it's going down really quick, and eventually I'm like maybe not even half a second behind him. he apparently has no grip like all of the rest of the cars, and
No.
apparently for the first time in this round I made the right decision, but it wasn't enough to get the P3, so I get the P4.
Incredible.
So I was like, what the hell
P4.
happened in this race? So I was at one point P6, going back to like P14 at one point, leading the race, crashing, destroying my chances of eventually a good race, and now finishing in P4. Yeah, I think this race really had it all. Like, absolutely had it all. So guys, you can check the first part of this round. You can actually check it in the link down below, or in the right corner of this one. So guys, I mean, I really hope you enjoyed in this one. Even if you did, you can always hit the like button. You can even subscribe if you really like my channel. And
going to be
yeah, hopefully for many more of these races. Kinda, let's say. Maybe I won it, maybe not, but we'll see. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.